sikasɛm ampa lumba na kaeɛ si anhwɛ sikasɛm yi a yɛ mpanyinfoɔ so na yɛbɛyɛ nkɔraa nti mohwɛ sikasɛm yi yo ɛnɛ the topic ne ɛyɛ home it's about home buying home buying no sɛ ɛde nsɛm bebree nenam ɛhwɛ sɛ ne situation si kɔ a ɛde nsɛm bebree nenam home buying yɛhwɛ kakra yɛwɔ ne yɛnka mfa ho sɛ these days we will be if you know WhatsApp we will be follow nneɛma your friends saying wo social media na follow nneɛma bebree a ɛm sɛ yɛ follow kakra yɛ asɛ yɛasom ayɛ kyan bebree ɛfa your friend saying when it call Twitter as you say your friend X will call TikTok just baabi a bɛfa biara no ɛyɛ real estate ho asɛm ne yɛka na yɛka fa mortgages ɛne saa nneɛma no nti no asɛ ɛyɛ biribi bi a ongoing na ɛka na ɛba interest rate na nam fufuo ne ade na ɛka fa ho sɛ interest rate ɛwɔ soro interest rate a yɛsɛ interest rate sɛ wote saa asɛm na ɛyɛ ampa interest rate akɔ soro akyɛ kakra wohwɛ a free 2022 January all the way up to as a emphasis last month, which is October 2023. No, interest rate ɛkɔ soro that speed na ɛde kɔɛ no na ɛshɔki and I say change lies bebree yɛ ne ɛwɔ plans sɛ bi a yɛbɛyɛ biribi nhwɛ wohwɛ koraa na ɛnyɛ ɛyi nko house nko a just ɛne house ne ɛbɛtɔke interest rate ne kɔ soro ma nneɛma bebree nti no sɛ wayɛ biribi sɛ ebi a wɔsave na wopɛ sɛ obi anka wotɔ dan na interest rate ne kɔ so a asɛ wadwene ayɛ mmienu nhyɛ dɛ nhu deɛ wopɛ sɛ woyɛ anaasɛ deɛ na ɛkɔ so yi deɛ na mɛyɛ wowɔ questions bebree a yɛnhwɛ deɛ ɛkɔ so ne nyinaa yɛnyɛ mpɛnsɛmu ne yɛhu sɛ ne ɛsi teɛ sɛ yɛbɛtumi make good decision if yɛayɛ yɛ adwene sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛkɔtɔ ɛbɛtumi aboa yɛ nti yɛnhwɛ deɛ ɛkɔ the first way you say should I buy a home now or wait into fie sisi anaasɛ yɛntwɛn should I buy a home or wait make us say yes with a big question mark. Yes, with a big question mark. Also to fie if financially or you're ready. Or question biya ɛfa topic you ho a obetimi de ato chat box or the tuma the be nsama and answer question biya any financial questions or the bar betimi answer when it comes to home buying adeɛ baako a wɔsie ho ne sɛ anaasɛ ɛma no yɛ Richie sɛ ebi apɛ sɛ ɔkasa a woma me yɛ aware I will bring you in right when I say Richie also apɛ sɛ ɔkasa I'll bring you in a few people so also pɛ sɛ ɔkasa a wobɛtumi de ato chat box ma na biribi I can help you come in and bɛtumi your question ho adwuma ma all right so one thing I wɔsie yɛto ɛdan a and it said stop here from buying a house. One, prices of house going up. And two, interest rates. Those are some of the things that so difficult. Say we be so on that alone. Say we be train and answer on fan train. As I say, if our rates now, a woman now, and I say as saying time, yeah, a woman now. Those things, no, will cost woom. Ɛnyɛ biribi a yɛmu bebree hɔ nom a ɛboa yɛn interest rate no obi sɛ mentwɛn na interest rate nkɔ fam anaa ansa no matɔ fie anaa interest rate ɛyɛ Federal Reserve ɛna ma interest rate ɔmo na ɛma no kɔ soro anaasɛ ɔmo na ɛma no ba fam yɛmu bebree hɔ nom a yɛni controls nyɛ sɛ yɛmu bebree a obi ani control ɛfa Fed ho na Fed so before so ɔmo interest rate anaasɛ ɔmo bɛte so no ɔmo hwɛ the way economy ne si kɔ ansa na ɔmo atumi raise interest rate and I say omaluano it's you say with the wadrin nan say what the chance interest rate because ana beko form na san what to fee no and yet good idea and then because predictions when it comes to interest rate so hard so bit me predict it. Sometimes I'm to to any be almost in city na experts ni be near to any predict it. But because the Fed based on the economy, the way the economy is going, and some of my interest rate in I don't know. So if I say so prediction now, this man yeah prediction say be beginning of next year, interest rate be for say this month and then next month, say economy no be kakra bi predictions na so. It is based on the economy and normally and I know say usually no it take time and some of my but we decided by be within so be unemployment akosoro na ko bi on person reason na so motis na be 2 months November and December now all unemployment spike higher. It can make them whatever predictions na if you say be an eme kuyi into betimi aye no. It usually we don't want to base on interest rate say no better than I say in front to die. Number two, adeɛ baako a say house prices ɛkɔ and the predictions no yɛ a na ɛyɛ kakra wɔ ho. House prices yɛ biribi a ɛma fam. Nim sɛ mmerɛ bi atwa mu nneɛma bebree sii ɛma house prices ɛba fam. Usually saa nneɛma no ɛntan happen. As a recently yɛmfa sɛ 2002 2001 sorry 2021 2022 adeɛ bi sii a saa nneɛma no ɛntan si sɛ cars na afei used cars ɛkɔ soro. Usually saa nneɛma no ɛntan si because usually nneɛma that goes down in value no ɛyɛ biribi bi a ɛntaa ɛnkɔ soro because the price no your friend say car yɛ biribi bi ɛkɔ fam. See because of circumstances bi ebi say no ahwɛ a ebi nsi koraa da biem. Pacho Richie the question be about I say if I buy a house now, how long will it take me to either break even or build an equity in the current mortgage condition with high interest rate and high house price? Tini na say Ricky so just what to face see at time in a bit dra maybe a bemana break even. A bit break even or by your friend saying and I say fan say equity ebebaso ama the interest rate na wotua no and the price na ekosoro no time na betimi ama atimi level a wo hu say asset me will be view my account me will be view edamachi equity atimi abaso yi na asset time toy no ankwɛ sɛ me ho akodim bebree bibisa na ɔpɛ sɛ if I buy a house now, how long will it take me to either break even or build an equity in the current mortgage condition with high interest rates and high house prices? Yo, Rich Meba who see mame nye ayi kakra bi. Yo, and thanks for your contribution too. Mame finish it no. Should I buy a home now or wait? No, me via meba question so. Yeah, say kimetimi credit ato na yehu. Yo, eti ade a yehu ne say house prices there e bibi e cost all the time. Barely do we see say house prices ekɔ fam. You say the people be hold more silence or more train say be a house price never be form because of nneɛma bi esi the other time my house prices kɔ fam no it you know e be a BBC betimi esi bi. Those things no usually don't happen. Usually no saa nneɛma no intense si koraa. It you know so what say oh train house prices above for ma a bed in sebe bafo. Ebi a area depending on the area or who move be say first naka in fact 2022 2021 na beginning of 2023 na price na cost na a few times as all of a sudden a jai ebi a bafom kakra bi it no so ebi a metwe na ba the reason ebi a who say ebi a drop kakra no interest price na bafom na mum de ye ne say time 2001 2002 na a friend saying shortage of houses near the amount for try so more to fee houses no core prices be were way up than the actual price I was saying houses no core so when say price neighbor for my air correcting about the price I was saying and I who say no just say a kofo or say a core too much in about the right place no hey no crano stop na fin I say move steadily when we look at houses barely in the houses ever for. It is a old chance say may train na house about for my son matubia a bibia a bit me how because one thing they make me a guarantee you this and I said predictions right they say houses usually a muffle barely any who say eba from obetimi akyerɛ yɛhwɛ koraa na from that period na happen no all the way ebisisi kɔ no just we na kɔ 22 million usually about 4-5% deɛ ebi wɔ ɛkɔ soro that every year you know wokɔ train for data ɛno sɛ biribi a ɛyɛ mistake na mmom deɛ bi a obetimi ayɛ sɛ obetimi atɔ na wa avoid price na bɛkɔ soro more na mmom sɛ ɛba fam a bi a obetimi ayɛ den a refinance. Another thing I be able to and say because you then say a year, 2 years, a year ago, no, we are in a house we see corner. It's now I so much say a seller's market. It's a time back on the pabe 30-40 akwakuguso. Omukuguso a fee the equine say a dian cow tie also your inspection. Also ye we also ye name checking your money now because any paper be up on it no. Omutimka say yeah throw with the application to for house now or contract to ma wow they also person checking special person checking near you from now a month for we're going insane they were doing so many things our houses so now it was so insane a month for to house I won't check anything no inspection no nothing you know by most saying the acquaintance says I don't free home today is the time because interest rate cost you probably slow down until now what time I'll be to credit to house now between the year you know ɛyɛ wadwene sɛ bi a train for house price sɛ bɛkɔ fam I know I can guarantee you say ɛnyɛ adeɛ bɛkɔ fam another thing is say interest rate no so ɛyɛ bi a predictions no ɛyɛ hard to predict na mmom so wayɛ ready a sɛ ɔtɔ house a ɛna ɛtumi ama ɔtɔ yo me afifi wowɔ question bi ana biribi saa na sɛ wopɛ sɛ wobɛm a mɛtumi ama woabɛm wopɛ sɛ wokasa wopɛ sɛ woyɛyi a mɛtumi de wabɛm I can add you nti ma mehu sɛ wopɛ sɛ wobɛm a just you know, send me a text and I say your friend say put on the chat say be up so bem. Rich is still so bem by your question is here. It's you know high interest rate no a BBB a cost amount for slow down. I would die no. This almost slow down. Now is the time. The price not go from but now is the time. Ubitimi akwa ubitimi do diligent about so to few but to what you now waiting to the pay. A year and a half, 2 years ago, no, that would be any sad time, no, would be any over Tommy Fia, me time on your side, because would be about no best or trim say, on the own we say it's 100,000, maybe 100,000 in the bus street. Yeah. See a tin chain pass, yeah, tin chain near Kwakoto, a train, no interest rate I from at the same time. So, yeah, train, I'm a house at a price not from the and yeah, Juma, I mean, yes, sure. Memo, we are financially prepared. I was set in this old train for side, you know. Make a beam. Mema interest rate, house price, cost through, and I buff. We are well prepared. That's the only way we be media to die. Nti yɛn kɔ ne yɛhwɛ nneɛma a ɛdi so oh before then no yeah your question bi wɔ ha question ne kyerɛ sɛ ɔsi yɛnyɛ dɛ yɛ if I want to buy a house now if I buy a house now how long will it take for me to either break even or build an equity in the current mortgage condition with high interest rates and high house prices? Very good question. A very good question. Yɛhwɛ ɔse sɛ ɔtɔ fie sisi time bɛn na ɔde be break even abra dan no anaasɛ time bɛn na equity bi bɛba mu ama asɛ ne ho nkɔdi mu kɛse at least ɔwɔ in between ɔno a ne ho ndi mu kɛse ɔno so a nkɔɔso bebree a wɔwɔ mu. With the condition you know, you need the price of house cost on credit will be more price cost na face no interest rate no so cost yo the mechanic say one it's going to be so hard for this we with me I predicted this and let me explain one na me can see I say interest rate no ABBB ultimate control nipa de we have to control the controllables the things how between control now control interest rate any BB bit me a control. So wohwɛ when you say the people tell more chance interest rate because wohwɛ averagely no wohwɛ pa na interest rate in our America no baby a wosese wohwema wohwepa will go back into the history now start to share housing interest rate is always around the 6 up to the 8 hey uh uh oh sir mini Alex open so can na person ma obema metima mo obem just ma me chat na be sir because so crowd me here you know metima ma chat mo open so obema na open so obema me nya mo obem yo enti wontimi based on that in fact the equity na e bedru sese no ene sa niam ni nyina the equity near the only control so say because enko from in a bibia untimi based on just that and fine because untimi control and to be able to know say time when we drew that equilibrium na bema if I say what that situation na a level up no it's going to be tough but dan ade ba ko enim say dan the 10 bia no ekosoro at least ekokakra and the rate and 2 years and a year ago no that was abnormal. That was circumstances be a war COVID, man, yeah. But in say at least we thought that gradually a cost kakra at least we go 4% be a year Nissan man de ubenya. It be a year be all my team cost be a team more na yeah. But whatever happened a year, 2 years ago, it was insane. Usually those things doesn't happen. And to your question, it's a good question, but to be able to predict, it's going to be tough. If you're going to base on just the house no the emphasis the prices of the house no to do that maybe you might want to say I'm sorry the question yeah, but see you bought your first home with 5% and you want to upsize it. It's really prudent to sell your first house and use the equity to buy the bigger house with a current rate of 8%. You ever heard my you were first one now kind of yo it's so hard say based on that, based on those things, because a BBB you can control, but we know steadily, house prices are cost through. Um, based on whatever is going to happen, the next quarter and so on, maybe how our prices a bit your friends say rate no a bit cost through and I say before. Because for all we know, no, I'm out for predict say maybe a better form, because usually in the way economy is here, recession, near be a team rate no cost through and I say inflation is anyway yeah intense more than 2 years within a year, 18 months, equal 2 years no. And you might stabilize it. It is also the history now. At that time, no, it be an started since animana and interest rate cost no ma fed reason interest rate. So now it me normalize yeah. Usually, no, they start bringing it down a little bit. That's the prediction I'm out for. But what about if BB happened the last quarter year? It may change money stay, maybe stay and now see between depending on the situation. It's going to be tough for this question. Say, me be on one side. Aye, we. Name the American be say, buying a house no shouldn't be say time being. It will say house a investment at the same time now. Even though most of houses no a residence you use to so we need no because could your friends rent betumi betwea bibi into issue house ayɛ na a good idea say waasɛ wo rent it for your own nti yɛ na a good sɛ bia bɛyɛ saa nti no deɛ based on that alone sɛ no ntini bi a time na ɛde break even a nti no ɛwɔ sɛ yɛtɔ house anaasɛ yɛntɔ house nti it's going to be tough for you to buy. You know say sɛ wotɔ house now by the next 4 5 years at least wobɛnya equity kakra wɔ so. I don't know how the interest rate is going to be. I mean, unless will be careful with how bit me like my chat so I can put you in here. The next question was I'll say if you you bought a first home 5% and you want to upsize, like it's really prudent to sell your first home house and use the equity to buy the biggest house with a current rate of 8%. You say another question, just say watofie, it be emphasis watofie 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Now interest rate in 5%. Let me build the equity kakra fine. It be a fear of toy. I mean, maybe I can say usually utofia tono at the time I want so. I will say you will go and you say will be go. You can always go up when you want a house. Into say me be a house I'm a pen maybe a 500,000. That's it at this time. Home so 300,000. A good semi to 300,000. 2 3 years now still me working on house need to be cost then na matimi aton. I'm say you need let's person bro person na hello.
Yeah, my trying.
Okay. Yo kasa.
Good. You've said all
Yo.
the good things earlier on. So when it comes to purchasing a home, you need to ask yourself some basic questions, right?
Mhm.
One, what is the reason why I'm buying this home? If you're able to, everything that you are going to do, you have to ask yourself why. If you're able to answer the question why, that will be the foundation for which whether to buy or not to buy, right? And what is my objective here? Am I buying, say, okay, if you are metrum, and am I just going in as a speculator, which is for investment, right? So in this current market now, if the truth is, if you are just going in as a somebody who is just going in and out to make money in and out, this is not a market for you. You have to be patient in that there's so much volatility going on. Things are going up and down.
Yo, my maybe
But it's
Saka
okay,
say if you're going in going in and out and no
right? So Obo and man, now you say, oh, make cotton. Just like
uh-huh.
the earlier question, like, oh, make cotton. 2 years, I've heard say equity. I bet to
Maybe
make one
cost.
mark,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So if you go in with that mentality, then you have to really think about it. But if you are going, oh, me to fear to them, just like you said, now you give yourself at least 5 years, right?
Mhm.
5 years, you at least you pay down your loan enough, so you build equity. And in addition to that, and so you are with time now home appreciates. And I like the fact that you said, say, other than the artificial appreciation we had uh 2019 and 2020, which was it was artificial inflation of values. Typically, as you indicated, home usually grow between 3 to 6% annually, depending on your zip code. There can be even in a normal market, some zip code don't even grow at all. It's just
That's
flat
right.
market.
Yeah, yeah,
Flat market. Home no, it's not going to go up. It's not going to come down,
yeah.
right? In
Mhm.
the same vein, you see some zip code growing 5%, 6%.
Yeah.
So real estate is all about location, 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 and market. And
Okay.
so timing a market is very, very difficult. And one of the things everybody need to understand is that if not recent years, home prices have gone up, lower interest rates and high prices don't go together.
Uh-huh.
Now, as you and I are talking now, prices have slowed down. Why?
Correct.
What Fed is doing has already kicked in.
Uh-huh.
I'm building a new construction for somebody. I visited a community, and the price that somebody purchased when the rate was down early last year,
Hmm.
the builder is selling it for almost 40,000 less. Why?
Okay.
Because of the higher interest rate now. They are cutting back prices to lure customers. Secondly, when this my client was building early last year, they only gave what $7,500 in closing costs.
Uh-huh.
When I took a client there recently, they are giving a whopping $25,000.
Hey, and it was here,
That
Baho.
means they are paying for all the closing costs. They are paying for money that you can use to buy down rate. So
Uh-huh.
just like you are saying now, if you go home, just have to give yourself some time and just be patient. Eventually, you're going to get
Uh-huh.
there. Home doesn't go up forever, it doesn't go down forever. So just buy what you can afford and know you said this is what I intend to do. Then the other evil is to continue to rent and say you are timing, and that timing will never come. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Yemfan say there's another chat here. Okay. I remember me finding rain. He said Richie so per se on also to me a chipping. Richie chipping Medwaba.
Hello, senior.
Senior.
We have very good submission by Ada. I think say
Uh-huh.
Wakani that the whole I read somewhere
Uh-huh.
and they also indicated say the goal no is it a short term or long term goal
That
because
is right.
they indicated say
Mhm.
auto if you now
Mhm.
especially if you have a long term goal it's gonna
Mhm.
take like 15 years before you can either break even or build an equity. And like Eda said, no, it depends on the location of the building and so can on. Maybe able
Uh-huh.
to feel, Maybe one
Yes.
man a check and sign a building equity. It is our
Yes.
money we need to factor it into it to his point of whether you are investor and also what to also
Mhm.
counts in because we're investor now one who up in the short time now go a short time one who can be lucky
Sikala
because it
kakulu,
might
okay.
take take some time and sign what build the equity so
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
I have said that can in anti and one no Yamisha
Yo.
Medamas.
Mr. Kakra meka afa ho no say share when it comes to those things now no very very good. Said the elder kind of the chat no. Okay, baby. Na ho na manfo enhyɛ da mfa no very serious. What it is obi wɔ nom or rent it or tena sidelines. Oh, if he kosoro interest rate kosoro no the time it or the time it. Asem okay, say thank you. Wobɛtena hɔ akyɛ one efie yɛ biribi bi a sɛdeɛ yɛkaeɛ no wohwɛ mmerɛ bi a atwa mu a saa nneɛma no siiɛ no akyɛ kakra ɛnyɛ adeɛ a ɛtaa si saa kakra meka support elder deɛ no wɔ ha m sɛ meka kakra fa ho wohwɛ baabi a ɔde obi kɔɔeɛ na now no is 20,000 less no most the year happen ne sɛ sɛdeɛ ɔkaeɛ no that time that price no kɔ so the actual prices was less than what the price are normal and because of the demand and some circumstances be na ɛkɔ so nti na ma ne ba saa even though that's kɔɛ or the obi akɔ now na so about 20,000 that doesn't mean say home prices are above mu the yɛhu ne sɛ correcting itself about the actual prices na was be currently correcting draw ne nyinaa so depend on the location, the area, and all that. Tina thought I was here factors now. And the emphasis the topic they said, should we wait? No, mostly no. And to say they make say why you ready? What to when you're signing and I'm baby boss kakra high. Say obi say why you ready? Why you ready saying? The readiness and one this is how me menim sɛ woyɛ ready and I say in sɛ yɛwɔ ways bebree amanfoɔ timi de tɔ dan a ebi ebetimi de waduru baabi pa bi anaasɛ wobɛkɔ akɔtena dan no right but there was some few things bi wɔ ha sɛ woyɛ a ɛtumi boa wo ma woyɛ peaceful mind ɛdan yɛ biribi a kakra mmɛka no sɛ ɛdan yɛ biribi bi a ɛbɛtumi aboa yɛn ɛwɔ sɛ it should be a blessing. It shouldn't be but one ton one ton year bit me case it whereby say me make us why you ready no any the reason how me make us obey ready no one why you ho ka nyina free ho said me kind no there are some programs we on ma ebi wa bitimi ayi ka nyina ebi wa student loan mo ma wonyi free ho ne sa ne ma no ba wotimi yi ho ka nyina free ho a eboa wo ɛno ɛkyerɛ sɛ at least wotɔ dan a bitumi aboa ama nneɛma atotɔ yɛ berɛ a wo ho nkyerɛw because wotua mortgage now sɛ yi sika firi ho tuatua other bills usually ne yɛ na we can nyɛ easy o number one no number two yɛnhwɛ biribi sɛ wowɔ emergency fund hɔ sɛ yɛnyinaa start yɛnyɛ nyinaa no especially yɛmu bebree hɔnom yɛbaa yɛkɔ renti baabi ada sɛ ɔrenti obi fie anaasɛ ɔrenti apartment ansa yɛkae sɛ saa time no sɛ woba na sɛ yɛfrɛ sɛ even yi koraa yɛfrɛ sɛ the toilet koraa na aklɔte tap ma wei ma ne wei a wofa phone ano afrɛ sɛ dan wura anaasɛ apartment yɛfrɛ sɛ apartment office na ɔma ba abɛyɛ ama ho wonya tɔ dan a saa de no is off saa nneɛma nyinaa no ɛyɛ wo ka when I also take care of saa nneɛma no nyinaa. Nti no wonya atɔ dan a saa nneɛma no change. Nti wotɔ dan na woni sika da w'akyi a ɛnim sɛ te sɛ deɛ meka no we have ways a wobɛtumi de atɔ dan. Bi wɔ emergency fund yɛ na wokɔtɔ dan koraa na bank no pɛ sɛ wɔn ho sɛ bia wo sika kakra wɔ hɔ yɛbɛtumi akɔgye obi die bi ayɛ way bi yɛbɛtumi de ahyɛ mu ne saa nneɛma no ɛnyɛ wɔ deɛ a at that point no will bring it a very very headache to yourself because matɔ awie ma yɛ bibi awie yɛnyɛ so nim sɛ maybe apart from be a new house ɛna bi a bibi ɛmma ho ɛno koraa no bibi tumi ba si nya atɔ a watɔ awie the only thing is bi ɛno no bi na nneɛma na ɛbɛwɔ wɔ ho no